Hey, Jeannie Lynch, welcome back to another episode. Today we're looking at the 7 universal laws based on the Hermetic teaching. And this is ancient work and has everything to do with what's going on in the world right now and why now is a really important time to understand how these universal laws work for you, not against you. And what happens if you break one of these universal laws, right? What is the consequence? Do you end up in universal law jail? Well, you're going to find out because I have a very special guest who's answering 7 questions on the 7 Hermetic laws. It's your very lucky day. Lucky 7 is coming up. Enjoy. Hey, thanks for staying clicked in as we explore the universal laws. So let's get right into it today. Let's start with why these are so important and why I chose this topic. The universal laws are the truth of the seen and unseen laws that exist in our universe. So whether you understand them or know the specifics behind them, it doesn't mean they don't exist. The more we understand them and the math behind them or the energy behind them or how these laws actually work, guess what? The better your life is, okay? So you will not go to purgatory or jail for not using these laws, but your life doesn't have to be that complicated. So these are tools to use in this experience, okay? So let me give you a great example. The law of gravity happens to be one of the universal laws, and it has everything to do with attracting energy and everything to do with energy, right? And we know that if you are up on top of a building and you accidentally slipped off, or even if you jumped off, you're going to hit the ground, right? Because of gravity and that exists in this place, right? And now you might not know the specifics. You might not know how fast you'll go based on how much you weigh and how far up you are and how hard the pavement is, okay? But you don't care because you know that you're going to hit the ground and it's not going to feel well, right? If you understand all the math behind it, perhaps you put some more precaution when you go up on that roof, right? Or put yourself in those situations. So what a great metaphor, right? For understanding these universal laws. So today, my very special guest, Luna, she's a mystical character, by the way. She's going to answer questions that I asked that I wanted to know, and I wanted to know them for you. I wanted to be able to explain these universal laws in a way that connect to you, make sense to you, and so that you can use them. And why? Because right now, I think we need all the help that we could get to get through where we are in the world right now. So we're diving right in. The first question for the universal law is, do all spiritual laws have to do with being in a physical body?
Not all of them. Some universal laws operate only in the material realm, like the law of cause and effect, while others exist whether or not you've got a body to drag around, like the law of oneness or the law of vibration. Think of it this way. The moment you take on a body, you step into a cosmic classroom where physical experience becomes your chalkboard. But the curriculum, the laws themselves, were there long before you showed up in skin. Remember, you can't break a universal laws. You can only break yourself against them. Enjoy and take notes.
My second question is, why do so many of the universal laws seem to be the same?
Because spiritual laws are fractal. They repeat their pattern through different layers of existence. The law of correspondence literally says, as above, so below. So the law of vibration, everything is energy, and the law of attraction, energy attracts similar energy, are like twins wearing different outfits. They're describing the same energetic truth from slightly different angles.
My third question is, how many universal laws are there exactly?
That depends who you ask. Hermetic philosophy names 7 primary laws. New Thought and modern metaphysical teachers like Dr. Michael Beckwith, Bob Proctor, and Deepak Chopra expand that list to 12, or even 21. Here's the gist. The 7 Hermetic laws are the OG rules from the Kybalion, written in the early 1900s, but based on ancient Egyptian Greek wisdom, Hermes Trismegistus. The 12 universal laws are a more modern, spiritualized remix for everyday life.
My fourth question is, who actually wrote these universal laws?
No single author. These are timeless truths observed and interpreted by mystics over millennia. From Egyptian priests and Hindu sages to Greek philosophers and modern metaphysicians. The Kybalion merely codified them. It didn't invent them. It just said, "Hey humans, here's the user manual you keep losing."
My fifth question is, well, what happens if you break them? Do you end up in some universal prison?
You don't break them like speeding through a stop sign. You simply experience the consequence of being out of alignment with them. For example, ignore the law of cause and effect. You will feel like a victim instead of a creator. Resist the law of vibration. You'll attract chaos because you're tuned to static. The universe isn't punishing you. It's teaching you through feedback. It's cosmic biofeedback training.
So my sixth question is, if you don't end up in some type of prison, what is the consequence?
Dis-ease, disharmony, confusion, loss of flow. You know that feeling when everything you touch falls apart and your intuition sounds like dial-up internet? That's spiritual static, the signal of misalignment. Once you realign, life starts syncing again. Serendipity shows up, timing feels perfect, energy flows, and guidance feels crisp.
My seventh and final question is, out of the different universal laws that you're talking about today, if you had to say what are the top 3, which ones do you think are the most critical? And as you go to tell us these, why don't you let me break in between and I'll explain each one so we can all have a deeper understanding.
These are the don't leave home without them laws for anyone giving intuitive or mediumship readings. 1. Law of oneness.
I can see why you chose the law of oneness as a really important energy. And I love this one because we're all connected, especially for us readers out there, right? When you're reading someone else's energy, it's the same frequency as yours. It's just maybe has a different mask on in front of you, right? We are all connected. So you're not in somebody else's field, you're in the same field that you're in, and you're interpreting their energy based on that connection because we all are one. Love that.
Oneness. 2. Law of vibration.
The law of vibration is another extremely important understanding to think about. Everything in your life right now is a vibrational match to you. So if you're living a life that you don't want to be living, then the only thing you can really do is change your vibration. Everything is in alignment and it comes to you at the exact moment that there is cohesiveness, right? Good, bad, or indifferent. Like attracts like, the law of attraction sounds like that, but this absolutely is the law of vibration. So our question to you today is, what are you spending your time doing? Have you ever gotten those little reports on your cell phone that tell you, you're 5 hours watching TikTok? Okay. If that isn't a heads up to you where your energy is going and what's happening around you, I can't give you a better example. Let's get to the last one.
Law of cause and effect. Karma.
And please don't hear that like other people hear when they hear karma. They think, yeah, that person had it coming to them because after all, they were like this. This is a little bit broader and certainly much deeper than that. This is saying that every action you have, whether it's this life or the one before you or the one on its way, is already in motion, and there is absolutely a reaction and an effect from it. It's the ripple. No matter what you get up and put out every day will come back to you. See your life as a boomerang, and what you are throwing will return to you. So that's where we have to be so clear with our intentions, right? I have this great affirmation that I always give to my clients, and it is this, continue to send me the people who are in harmony with my intentions, make the ones who are not simply disappear from my experience. And then I always kind of warn people at the very end of sharing that, be careful with your intentions. This is that law. If you're not clear what your intentions are, right, and who you want in your life, this might come back to you in a negative way. So don't forget, your intentions are absolutely everything to do with the universal law. Let's move on. Last thing I'm going to do before we wrap up today is just show you the two slides, one with the 7 and one with the 12, so you can see them for yourself, and let you know that I have my cheat notes for you out on my Google Drive. And I always offer that in my videos in the description, a link, right? And so here's your homework. If you're working with the universal laws, or if today's the first you've heard of them, right, and you're doing energy work and healing people, please know that you need to understand these. I believe the people and where you get your information, if they don't think you have a good grasp of following these rules, I think they'll shut you down. That's just my belief. So work with them and understand them. If you have any questions, this would be the best place to start that conversation. And my homework for you is simple. Take one of the 7, maybe for the next 7 days, and start with a 10-minute meditation over that universal law. And then ask the universe to kind of send you the relationships, the situations, and the understanding throughout the day. You will be amazed at what shows up. And I promise you, at the end of the 7 days, you'll get a crash course, as if today wasn't enough, right? This is Jeannie. I really enjoyed talking about this topic. I'll see you next video. And until then, bye now. Namaste.
Thank you for your attention and focus. Namaste.